You are welcome. This is the Messiah Revelation Ministry, prophetic ministry dedicated to end times. We are looking at the end times. The final trumpet of heaven has sounded. It was revealed to me in a vision on August 27th, 2013. And the events in the world show that we are in the last days and God is realigning the powers in the world. There is realignment, there is shaking in the world. And the shaking involves nations. And war is being used as part of the shaking. And so it's no wonder that there was a war initiated against Iran, February 28, 2026. We need to look at all of them in light of Bible prophecy and in light of the calendar of God in times of the end times. And as I said, the final trumpet of heaven has sounded. That is on the calendar of God, that the final trumpet of heaven has sounded. And the Lord revealed that to me on August 27th, 2013. And since then, I've had so many revelations. Revelation with regard to America in particular, and revelation with regard to America's President Donald Trump, and revelation in regard to Israel. And here we are, there's a major war going on between America, Israel, and against Iran. The two of them, the two major powers, combining their military might against Iran. Does it tell us anything? It tells us that there's realignment of global power, and the Lord instills kings, the Lord distills kings, and the systems in the world will work. The nation, the alignments in the world will work, and it will come, the alignments will come to an end when the kingdoms of this world, they give way to the kingdoms of the Messiah. And so now we see a realignment of the global system. Geopolitics is not just geopolitics. They are in line with Bible prophecy, and the Lord humbles nations, the proud nations, and the wicked nations, and the corrupt nations. And the Lord also humbles leaders. And when a leader is proud and arrogant, there's a way that God will humble that leader. When a nation is proud and arrogant, there's a way that the Lord will humble that nation. Nebuchadnezzar is an example to you, how he was humbled. Belshazzar, the king of Babylon, is an example to you, how he was humbled. He was mocking God. And at that time, in the midst of his mocking and his opulence and arrogance, and there was a handwriting on the wall, and the handwriting is encoded in Daniel 5, verse 24. Daniel 5:24. There was the part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. And this is the writing that was written. Many, many tekel parsin. Your kingdom is weighed in the balance, and it has been given to the Medes and the Persians. It's a divine oracle against an arrogant nation ruled by an arrogant leader, Babylon. And you know that when Daniel interpreted the handwriting, the same day Babylon fell, and it was given to Medes and the Persians. And Daniel 5:24 Daniel 5:25 is your reference. What lessons are we getting from America Israel war against Iran? And it is a way of the Lord humbling nations and realign the end time players. All of a sudden, America and Israel combined their forces to attack Iran. In fact, they calculated that they will win and they will use shock and awe. And the Iranian government will capitulate and it will be obliterated. And I don't even know the adjectives to use, but that was the calculation. It was the calculations of nations that rely on their might. They don't rely on God for guidance, and they pursue their parochial interest in the international system. As a result of the war, started February 28, 2026, you see some of the facts and the trends. American fighter jets down by Iran. We're talking about F-35, F-15, C-130, and the KC-135. These aircrafts are believed to be superior in what they do, and they are invisible. They are invisible as you cannot see them. They are stealth bombers, and they are also invisible. The sea, it means they cannot be defeated. And so the Lord used Iran to showcase that no one is invisible, and you cannot rely on your air power. And at the time, the Lord will humble you. And this is what you see as we see American fighters, bombers, jets coming down in Iran. And they are coming down not because of malfunction, it's because they are taken down by Iran. And a humiliation is a humbling. And the Lord uses the foolish things of the world to humble the wise. And so the fighter jets, American fighter jets being down by Iran is an indication of how the Lord humbles nations, how the Lord realigns power in the international system. And the Lord is realigning international power system. The hegemons of yesterday will not be the hegemons of today. The kingdoms of yesterday will no longer be the kingdoms of today. And those who relied on their military power, they will be humbled. Another way that the Lord is humbling and the powers, the big powers, is confusion. The Lord is using confusion. The Lord used confusion um, to humble the proud. You remember the Tower of Babel, when people wanted to build a tower high up in the sky, mocking God, rebelling against God. And the Lord used confusion of languages to discomfort them. And in this war, we see confusion in Iran, because their leaders were taken out. Many of their leaders are taken out. You see confusion in Israel because some of their leaders are taken out. And the Prime Minister of Israel, I believe that he is in shock because he probably could not see how Iran could retaliate after the bombardments. And so you see confusion. In America, there's confusion in the midst of the chief of staff of the American Armed Forces. and he has been sacked. The Attorney General of America has been sacked, and several leaders in America face the risk of being removed. It's all happening in the midst of the war. And so you can see that there's also confusion in America. And so confusion in America, confusion in Iran, and also confusion in Israel. And the Lord is showing his might, and is part of the realignment of international power. The proud is being humbled. And even in the United States, there is no elite consensus about the war. And when I say elite consensus, I'm talking about elite, the elites, the ruling elites being in agreement about the objectives of the war and the cause of the war and implementation of war strategy. And you can even see that between the president of America and the vice president, there is no total consensus because the vice president has articulated certain positions and that are not in alignment with the war. They are pro-war forces and anti-war forces in America itself. You also see that major nations in the world, they are not in line with the war. And even if they support the war, they have not come out publicly in support of the war. We see American allies, major allies within NATO, the leaders coming out openly to condemn the war. France has come out, and even England has decided not to be part of the war, and Germany has come out, Spain has come out, and so there's lack of elite consensus. What does it mean? It means that the major power in the world, America, the Babylon of our time, is being isolated. It is not able to garner international support, even among the allies in this war. NATO is not in the war, and I don't think they will be in the war, at least for the time being. So America is being isolated. And those who are against the war, they say that the war is an unjust war and there's no justification for the war. And so you see a situation where the greatest power in this world has gone to war without elite consensus and also without popular and national support for the war, and also has gone to war without the allies, American allies, supporting the war diplomatically and also militarily. And they have not supported Americans' war, even though they could support the war, but they have not supported the war. America is isolated, and America as a hegemon is now isolated, and you can see that as humiliation. When Britain, Germany, and France, Italy, Spain have not come out to support the war, and they are against the war, you will see that the Lord is using the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. America is being isolated. Iran. Iran is a nation underestimated by the military industrial complex that waged the war, initiated the war, the military industrial intelligence complex, and they rule nations that instigate wars, and they underestimated Iranian capability, and it's a way of the Lord humiliating and the proud and the wicked, and those who rely on intelligence. The feeling of superiority underpins their calculations, even their strategic calculations. And they went into the war thinking that Iran is just an ordinary country. Iran is like Iraq. Iran is like Venezuela. And they have miscalculated, and the Lord is using the Philistines of this world to confound the wise. The miscalculation was based upon the assumption that Iranian missiles they will be exhausted. But now the war has shown that Iran has arsenal capacity. The ballistic missile capability has not been decimated. It has not been obliterated. And it is one of the confusions, and it's one of the ways that the Lord, I believe, is using Iran as a trap to confound the wise and to confound the strong, and also to realign the international system, to de-hegemonize the international system, and to topple nations and also leaders, and also to make a point that a time is coming where the first will be last and the last will be first. It's a divine orchestration. Nations will fall, the kingdoms will fall, and when the big powers are falling, pride comes before the fall. Pride came before the fall of Babylon in the Old Testament. Pride came before the fall of the Roman Empire. Pride came before the fall of the British Empire. And pride came before the war. The pride, make America great again. America is the greatest power in the world, and we can do whatever we want to do. We created the world. The world is for us. And we can even go and covet other people's properties. We can go to Venezuela and take their oil. And we can go to the Strait of Hormuz and take oil from the Strait of Hormuz. And the Lord is showing that even though there's lawlessness in the international system, there's anarchy in the international system, the Lord is a Lord of order. He's not a Lord of confusion. The Lord is a Lord of justice. He's not the Lord of injustice. And nations will be judged. And it's because the Lord is a Lord of justice. And when the Messiah comes, he will gather the nations and he will judge them. Matthew 25 talks about it. Matthew 25:32 going talks about the Messiah gathering the nations before him and judging the nations. And he will send his angels to go over the world to gather the things that offend God, so that the Lord will judge the things that offend God. The LGBT flag offends God, and the Lord will judge that. The Lord will judge the nations. As we are talking about America, there are judgments waiting to fall on America. Americans rule in the transatlantic slave trade. Americans rule in assassinations of other leaders in the world. Americans rule in enslavement of God's people. Americans rule in the killings of so many people through wars, ranging from Vietnam to Korea to Afghanistan to Iraq and other parts of the world. America's intervention in the politics of other nations, citing America's intervention in Chile during the time of Allende. The Lord remembers all those things, and the Lord will judge the nations, and the Lord will judge the nations when the iniquities of the Amorites are ripe, and then judgment will come. And I believe that the iniquity of America is ripe at this time, and so the Lord is judging America with humiliation, and Iran has provided a platform for the Lord to judge America. And Iran has propaganda advantage. Um, they have um, artifacts to show that American aircraft was down, and they made an order that their people in the villages, um, in the forest, they should go and look for a downed American pilot and bring him, capture him, and take him, so that the Iran will use it for propaganda advantage. It's not only Iran that's using propaganda. Americans are also using propaganda to show that they are on course, to show that they have obliterated Iranians, Navy, and Air Force. But at the same time, Iran is showing that they are still um, up. They are down, but they are not down, down, down. They can fight. And it is the Lord speaking that when the instrument that is used to humble the arrogance of nation is down, that instrument will rise up. And so, even though the major leaders in Iran are decapitated, out of the ruins have arisen other leaders who are still fighting, and they are fighting and they are challenging Americans' air superiority in Iran, having down several American aircrafts. And America is looking for ceasefire. They are looking for a way out of the quagmire, but Iranians are bluffing, and it's a way of the Lord humiliating the proud and the nation that behaves like the creator of this world. This is how the Lord humiliates the hegemon in the international system. Iranians are not willing to cease fire at this time because they want to fight, and fighting will show that they are not cheap, and they are also using the fighting as a way to deter future aggression from Israel, aggression from America, and aggression from any other nation. The Iranian leadership um, is still strong, despite the decapitation of the leadership. They are still strong, and they are united. And if anything at all, the war has united the Iranians, and it is a confoundment of the wise. It confounds the strong, who believe that the decapitation of the leadership will lead to civil war in Iran, dismantling of Iran, and so that probably Iranian oil can be coveted by the hegemons, those who for history have exploited other people's resources, even going to the extent of taking people as slaves during the transatlantic slave trade. And the Lord is humiliating them on a global scale. And there's a new world order that is coming, is being in shape. And on July 20th, 2018, and the Lord showed me in a vision President Trump signing a new world order. So as I see President Trump coming the second time in America, coming, proclaiming that there will be no more war, but immediately instigating war against Iran. And I believe that President Trump is part of the New World Order, or the Lord is using him to orchestrate the New World Order. The Lord is using him for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbled by a small nation, and for America to be humbl Iran, Persia, a nation who has played a major role in the Bible, and a nation that the Lord is using in the end times as the means to stay Babylon. Oh, Babylon, America, the nation that um, claims to be the world's number one superpower, and the nation that is being humbled now. And the Lord is using America's humiliation in Iran to make a point that pride comes before the fall. The God of the universe, he instools and destools kings, and he elevates nations, and he also put down nations. And this is where we see America. All those things are happening because America is an end-time player. The president of America is an end-time player based upon visions that I've seen. Iran is an end-time player. Israel is an end-time player. Meanwhile, Jerusalem will be trodden down by Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles are up. And the Iranian war and the bombardment of Tel Aviv is a prophetic sign that Jerusalem will be trodden down of Gentiles until their time is up. You remember Revelation 2 verse 9, Revelation 3 verse 9. In the end times, there will be people in Jerusalem who will claim to be Jews, but they are not Jews. They are part of the synagogue of Satan. And this war will expose the synagogue of Satan. This is Messiah Revelation Ministry. Share the video and watch this channel. Repent. The Messiah is coming very soon. And the things that are happening are not mere coincidence. The Lord is realigning the international system and taking down dominions and strongholds and bringing down nations, particularly the proud nations and the arrogant nations. Thank you very much.